How many people have been to Israel? Excellent. My wife and I have been traveling to Israel for 33 years. It's probably the best place we've ever visited and the place we like the most. So I'm up here today to tell you a little bit about how big it is. Well, it's about that big. A very, very tiny country. Louder? From Metula in the north to Eilat in the south at the Red Sea, it's 265 miles. If I take off in Tel Aviv in a fighter, I can be in Jordan in 4 minutes. If I'm in Jordan, I can shoot down an airliner from Jordan or Ben Gurion Airport and not ever enter Israeli airspace. The lowest point on the earth is found in Israel at the Dead Sea, which is 1,388 feet below sea level. But it's a wonderful area because if you have skin diseases, you can go there and not be affected by ultraviolet and get cured of your skin disease. So it's a remarkable place. Size-wise, we in New Hampshire have a small state. We have about 9,300 square miles. Israel right now as it exists has 8,500 square miles. And as Brian said, from Herzliya, which is north of Tel Aviv, to Judea and Samaria, and some maps are mismarked, but they say something like West Bank, it's only 9 miles. So it's a very, very small area. I encourage you to go visit it. It's the most wonderful place on the earth. Thank you.
Please don't forget when you leave to grab a sign and use it. That's what they're for. Just grab a sign. Shaike Artsi grew up in Israel. The son of Holocaust survivors, he participated in all of Israel's defensive wars between 1967 and 1982. But he is still a supporter of an honest and reasonable peace with the Arab neighbors of Israel. He has worked in Israel's high-tech industries. In his spare time, Shaike has been writing his debut novel, which will soon be published in Israel in Hebrew, and he plans to publish an English version as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaike Artsi.
Good evening. I was asked to speak about high-tech in Israel, but before I speak, let me start with a few questions. Who is using a cell phone? Please raise your hand. Good. You may be using components designed or produced in Israel, maybe even without knowing. Who is using a laptop? You must likely using Pentium NMX chip or other components designed in Israel. Anybody using a chat software that may be based on ICQ that was developed, designed in Israel? How about the disk on key? Everybody almost, and it was designed in Israel. How about translation software? Firewall software that protects access over the internet. Headache medicine, and the list can go on and on. Blood test equipment, devices that help children breathing, with breathing problems. Software used by PayPal and by Yellow Pages. Engines, jet engine components used by USA military, and on and on. That shows that almost everyone, or all of us, are using components that were either designed, incubated, or produced in Israel, and the Israeli products are very prevalent in our life. Let me quote few additional facts from a wonderful book published recently, Startup Nation. Israel has the highest number of startups in the world proportional to its population. Israeli companies are listed in NASDAQ more than all European companies, and Europe is 30, 40, or 50 times bigger in population than Israel. Almost all international companies like Google, IBM, eBay, HP, Applied Materials, and I can go on and on, have centers in Israel. Microsoft's second in line, Steve Ballmer, said that Microsoft is as Israeli company as American because of all the advances that were made there. In fact, Microsoft had its first office, research and development office, outside of Washington State, not in another state, but in Israel. Intel, its first development center. Intel's biggest manufacturing site outside of the United States is in Kiryat Gat, near my hometown of Ashkelon. Cisco recently has bought 9 Israeli companies and is shopping for more. So if you know of Israeli companies that you or sell, please call Cisco, they will be interested. Venture capitalists, seeing all the miracles or all the advances coming from Israel, have invested in Israel proportional to the population 2.5 times more than in the United States, 30 times more than Europe, 80 times more than China, 300 times more than India. And amazingly, it's bidirectional. There are many Israeli companies that are investing in the United States, open offices in the United States, and purchase American companies, including here in New England. We have a few dozen such companies. And what is more amazing is all of this was done while Israel had enormous expenses on wars, on defense, on building the country, of absorbing population that came almost with nothing, like my family coming from Poland with just few suitcases, or coming with no formal or no Western education. So the question is, why Israel, and how come Israel, how come Israelis? The book that I mentioned, Startup Nation, has many suggestions why, and I won't repeat on that, but let me conclude with through of my perspective. The first and foremost is, like the American spirit of helping others in need, other nations or other people, Israel as well as Israelis follow the ancient rule of tikkun olam, helping others in need or improving the life for others, including Palestinians, including Arabs in neighboring country or in Israel. Second, there is almost a pressure and desire of Israelis from birth, maybe we inherited it with our history, to do a little bit better, to overcome some constraints, to overcome the situation. And I felt it myself as a kid, as a soldier, as a student. And third is perhaps the desire that from that little point, little corner of the world, little country, the desire to show that we can do as well or better than other countries. Thank you very much, and thanks for attending.
Thank you, Shaike. Thank you.